Well, welcome back to the channel, folks. It seems like an absolute age since I've been out on the shore. It really does. It's months and months and months, and I'm so glad to be back out here. As everyone knows, been battling the weather. It's not been the greatest. I managed to get out on the boat a few times and trying to make the best of the opportunities I can. Had reasonable success. Check the videos out. I've had a few soles, a few plaice, a few flounders, a stinger in the last session. And yeah, so we thought we'd give it a go on the beach. It's the British summer, and it's, as usual, it's cloudy, a little bit of sun. It's now starting a little bit of rain. I've got my igloo, but I don't really want to put it up. I really don't want to put it up. But it's getting to the point where I may have to. I think there's going to be a few little showers around. Who knows? But we'll see if we can bear it out. If it starts to get really bad, then I'll have to put the igloo up. But it's a sandy beach. We're at Southbourne. And everyone knows any sandy beach, it gets everywhere, the sand. So I'm just trying to stop some of the sand getting into everywhere by not putting the shelter up, really, basically. But let's see what happens. Anyway, it is pretty much low tide. You can see the breakers in the distance there. There's a sandbar there, then it goes into a gully, and then obviously it comes up the beach. For the moment, I'm just going to use one rod and drop it straight in the gully, basically, and see what happens. It's probably only like a foot and a bit, maybe a couple of foot at the most in the gully. So hopefully we'll see maybe the odd bass or you know, whatever, flounder, maybe a plaice, even a sole maybe in that gully. And no doubt as the tide comes up again, I shall whack it out over the bank and see if I can get any rays. But just chuffed to be here. Let's see what happens, eh? Anyway, rig wise, let's go and show you the rigs. So rig wise, I am using just a dropper on one rig, and I'm going to use those for the rays. Just a dropper, using 3/0 koiki hook, 5-ounce Gemini lead, and it's probably around about a 2.5 foot, 3 foot body. And the other rig, I'm getting the right tangle up here. The other rig is going to be a 3 hook dropper. Now, Shane from Fishing Dorset Live, he swears by the old droppers at this neck of the woods, so we'll give it a go. He's the man that knows. Check his channel out if you ain't already seen it or whatever, and give him a good thumbs up, subscribe. Shane, he does a lot of lives on Friday nights, and he got a good channel going there. He got loads of people coming in and chatting and that, and it's all good stuff. But anyway, enough of me jabbering on. Oh, just what I mention is ragworm is what you expect for a few sole and a few plaice, and a couple of mackerel and some sand eel in there as well. Oh, and my milk and some ice. Happy days. Got some flaked ice, so that's keeping it cool as it's fairly warm even though it's fairly cloudy. Mike Cave's just turned up, so he's just getting himself all set up and ready to go. Don't forget to check out Mike's channel later on. He'll probably put a post up later on YouTube. This is of the action. Well, hope for action anyway. The sun's up, which is nice, and I've got one rod out there, and nothing happening much yet, but that tide is really pulling at the moment. So I forgot to mention is that I'm using my Pen Fathom 15s, and I've got my Black Rock Renaissance rods as well. What I've done is I've converted it so it's a sliding reel seat. I took off the fixed reel seat and bung a bit of shrink tube on and made it sliding reel seat. I prefer low down casting myself, so that's what I've done. I like the rods, they really are nice rods, so hence why you know, you could argue that I butchered them, but I think I've made a fairly good job of them. and they certainly fit my needs. So there we go. Well, I've got my sand eels on, my pulley dropper, just going to hook it up, and I'm not going to fire it out there because there's absolutely no need at the moment. I'm literally just going to put it in the gully and see what happens. Not set this reel up yet, so I'm just going to get it all sort of dialed in, if you like, set up, just sorting out the spool, adjusting the end play. That seems to be fine. Just checking the mags as well, seeing where they're set. I think we're about right. Just going to let it go a little bit. Yeah, feels about right. And as I said, I'm just going to give it a little lob. And there we go. Well folks, second cast in, and we have beaten the blank with a little shoaly. There we go, little shoaly on the old middle hook of the three. Happy days. So only a little dinky one, but it beats the blank, doesn't it? So we're off. Happy days. Well, I'm down here in White Cave, as you've seen, and he's beaten the blank as well. So we're both on a bass. Similar sort of stamp there, mate, ain't they?
Yeah, all about the same size, wasn't it?
So anyway, beats the blank, as you say, beats the blank.
Does the business.
So happy days. Well, bass on the second hook again. As you can see, there's quite a bit of weed here, so let's get this undone. Oh, that just spiked me, little git. So there we go. Second bass. Oh, there we go. Second little bass. Second hook down. So let's get this little thing away and go from there. I've chucked out a big bait as well now, mackerel and sand eel together. Tide's coming up quite nicely, so let's see if we can get something a little bit different. Well, at the moment, we're missing the rain, which is happy days, to be honest with you. We both don't want to start getting wet, we really don't. So hopefully it'll stay there where it is, and that'll be the end of that. As you can see in the distance, there's a few anglers turned up now. They're all getting bunkered down. Maybe some of them have been a bit more sensible than I am. They're getting their shouters out just in case of a bit of rain, but let's see what happens. Well, we was beaten. The igloo's up. It absolutely hammered down. So the igloo's gone up. Was hoping we were going to get away with it, but no, we didn't. It's only 2 bass so far still. And hopefully once we get a bit of night time, we're maybe hooking to some soles. Well, the weed is getting a bit of a nightmare. Plenty of it, as you can see. But the fish are coming in. Look at that, a little baby Plaice. Absolute dinky little thing. And he's only sort of just lip hooked, which is very nice. But he is dinky. Let's get him out. There we go. Little Plaice. Hey, how cute is that? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Little Plaice, Mike. Yeah. Well, the cap lamp is on. It's nearly dark. It's getting to the point where I can't see very much anyway, that's for sure. It's amazing how these cameras show up more light than what's really here. But yeah, Noctis is well on its way, so hopefully we'll pick up a few sole. That's the plan anyway. Well, I was just talking to Mike Cave and I had a slack liner. And then I thought, that's unusual sort of thing. So I reeled up, nothing, it's fair up. And then I went into a bit of a bite then. The rod bent over, a bit of a fight. I just couldn't make out what it was. But there it is. Lovely little small-eyed ray. Well, I say little, it's not a bad size actually. But there we go. On ragworm as well. I've got a lovely mackerel bait out there. What's it taking? The mackerel. Anyway, I can get it back. It's just coming up to high water and we're starting to get a few bites now. It's starting to happen. But it is difficult because there's a lot of swell out there and the rods are bouncing around quite a bit, but there is a few bites between the bounces sort of thing. You can make them out. So hopefully we'll bag a few more fish. I really would like to pull a sole out tonight as well. That would be the ultimate tonight, to be honest. Yeah, pulled out that little, well I say little, not bad small-eyed ray actually, to be fair. Forgot to weigh it though. Why didn't I weigh it? But all the excitement, I put it back. But never mind, never mind. Just see if we can get something else, eh? Well, I had a little rattle on the rod, you know, and there it is. The most dinkiest little smooth hound you could imagine. Look at that little thing. Now let's get that ram out of his mouth. There we go. There we go. Little smoothie pup, and that is a smoothie pup and all. Anyway, he's a wriggling, Let's get him back in the water. Well folks, just gonna reel out the last rod. That's the end of the session. We're just coming up to high tide and it's just time to go. You know, got work in the morning, we've had a nice little session. So, well, we had several bass at the beginning, one little Plaice, and it was a little Plaice. And then we had that nice small-eyed, over the moon with that, absolutely over the moon. And then the last fish for the day was that little smooth hound pup, and that was a real smooth hound pup, wasn't it? That was a little dinky little thing, it really was. But yeah, all in all, a really enjoyable session. So just going to wrap up the last rod, reel it in. Oh, excuse me. Don't think there's anything happening on it, and that's it. So tight lines everyone, see you next time and hope you enjoyed this small little session on Southbourne Beach.